Okay, the AFC playoff picture looks like this. Obviously, a tough loss for the Chiefs. Currently in the 9th seed, trailing the Chiefs, trailing the Jags and Bills by a game and a half for that wild card spot. Chiefs will be paying attention to a couple of games this weekend, including the Steelers, who host the Bills, and the Texans, Luke, who travel to Indy in a massive AFC South matchup. At the end of the day, 260 yards, 4 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes. I say that to you, you think Chiefs victory. That's not the case. What happened? How'd they lose it?
It starts with penalties. I couldn't get over a team that is this well coached. They had 10 penalties for 119 yards. So that was my first thing, and I was waiting for them to kind of settle this thing in. Hey, okay, we're getting some penalties. Let's stop this. And then I actually thought for the very few times Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, got dominated today. He came in with a game plan that was to bring a ton of pressure on Dak, and it worked on the very first play of the game where Dak threw a pick, and it did not work the rest of the day. And what you see a lot of with these penalties on receivers, part of the reason was because they were bringing either a pressure or a blitz so often that all of a sudden it was like, we're on an island with these guys, and when you're an island with CeeDee Lamb or Pickens, they make plays like this. So, I think the world of Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, we've talked about him a lot on the show. But
you're a big Spags guy.
Big Spags guy. Quite frankly, I thought Brian Schottenheimer, obviously their head coach, offensive guy, got the better of that matchup today.
It's wild how the Cowboys have turned this around. And you said through 12 weeks you were not worried about the Chiefs. Are you now officially worried about the Chiefs?
I am officially worried about the Chiefs.
Okay.
I am. Now, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. You know, the reality for me is when you look at the tiebreaker, you look at this whole schedule, they need to win out. That's just it. But the good news for Chiefs fans is you have 2 what I would call easier games on your schedule against the Raiders, against the Titans. It's a bit down the road. The 3 tough ones are all at home, and 2 of those teams are in front of you in the wild card position. You know, you look at next week against the Texans, you're at home. You also get a few extra days to prep for that, and then you take the Chargers at home as well. Those are must-wins. Again, the formula is simple. You got to win out. But the tougher games are at home, so we'll see how they do.
All season we've been talking about how great, and we're going to see how great Micah Parsons was on U.S. Thanksgiving, but we've been talking about the fact that Jerry had to trade him away, couldn't come to an agreement. We've been hammering Jerry Jones for that. And yet, should we be giving Jerry a little more credit for the players he was able to acquire this season?
Absolutely. Listen, we all love to poke fun at Jerry Jones. But right now, and it's a small sample size, we were all, and myself included, being like, what are these guys doing? And I still think the math is going to be very tough for them to get in. But that being said, they're a completely different team with Quinnen Williams and Luke Willson. And this whole team in general right now has been on fire. And we talk about Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, and that's the easy topic because both those guys are an absolute star. But what I'll say is this. You talk about Jerry Jones. The offensive line today was tremendous. And this offense is not just those 2 guys. They have a run game. Javonte Williams has been good all year. So that makes teams be, okay, we can't actually load the box or back up. We've got to play this honest. Because if we back off, do a light box, Javonte will run it right at us. If we decide to load the box up, you've got 2 killers on the edge in Pickens and Lamb. And I'll go back to this offensive line. Jerry Jones and this front office built this offensive line through the draft. And you saw today, again, we're going to go back to Spags. They brought a lot of different looks, a lot of different pressures. Dak Prescott was chilling back there. They had no issue with it. So, again, I really think that kind of the unsung hero of this whole thing is the Cowboys' offensive line is making the whole thing work.